Good afternoon. We're back with another episode of the Lord of the Rings LCG Progression Series. Playing solo as always, and today's quest is the King's Quest. Third quest of the Wilds of Rivanian. I found all the quests in this expansion too difficult to play the deck that I really wanted to play against it, which was the Dale deck. I tried a lot of different variations and it just didn't work. So I had to turn to something stronger, and this quest is even harder. We've got a Caves deck for this one. It's a side deck, and I need to, as part of setup, discard until I find a location or an enemy. First I'll get my hand. No, I don't like that one with 2 Men of the West in the opening hand. That can really limit your options later. Okay, we'll try this one. Then I also need to discard until I find an enemy or a location. That's a big enemy. That's what you don't want to start this quest, is a big enemy. Well, there's Steward. So that's an okay start. Wealth. Ethir Swordsman. Hunter of Lamedon. And we'll discard and see if it's Outlands. It is not. Gonna play Daeron's Runes here. Draw 2, discard 1. Okay, I'll discard Daeron's Runes. Play Captain's Wisdom. Play Faramir. Play Hunter of Lamedon. Oh, I don't have enough for that. Okay. Now I'll play a very good Tale with Faramir and a Hunter of Lamedon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we get Knight of the Swan and Forlong, who will be in his final form on turn 1. That's quite strong. Deep Knowledge is too risky. I could easily draw an Ethir Swordsman or a Warrior of Lossarnach and not be able to play it. So, at the beginning of the quest phase, discard from the top of the encounter deck until a location is discarded and you either add it, or I can raise threat by its threat to discard it. I think I'll take the threat and discard it for the first turn. So let's quest. Quest for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the card is discard until you get a location and add it to staging. Okay, so it's 5. And when faced to the option, the way we clear phase 1 is by adding 3 locations to the victory display. And typically the locations that go in the victory display are going to come off the Caves deck, and you get to the Caves deck by traveling to deep locations. So when faced with the option to travel, the players must travel to Deep Chasm. And the deep rules are, when you travel to a deep location, you discard it, and then you replace it with the top card of the Caves deck. After the players commit characters to the quest, discard cards from the encounter deck until a Treachery is discarded. Resolve the when revealed effect on that Treachery. That's nasty. So we're on to the next round. Draw 1, 2, 3. Oh, interesting. Well, I can gain strength, play Heed the Dream. Knight of the Swan seems good. Get rolling with combat. One. I'm thinking I should go back and retcon the Heed the Dream. It's not going back very far, but after I played Heed the Dream and got the Knight of the Swan, spend the 3 resources to search for another card and add it to my hand. And that other card I think should probably be a Warrior of Lossarnach. And then I'll play that. The other option would have been to Men of the Will of the West, or Men of the West, to grab the Hunter of Lamedon, but given the opportunity to get the Warrior of Lossarnach, I think he is needed at the moment. So I want a quest for 8, 11 maybe. So let's go 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. When revealed, the highest attack enemy in the staging area makes an immediate attack. So attacks for 2. The defender cannot ready until the end of the round. That's fine. He has an effect if he's dealt a shadow card with no effect, which he wasn't. So I have 11 to 3 is 8 progress. Clears the lightless grotto, and that will move that to the victory display. Now, once again, I forgot I need to discard until I find a location, so this actually wouldn't be the card at the beginning of the quest phase. I'll keep that one, and then I have an encounter card after that, which is another one. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 11 is 6 progress. Still clears those. I'll go ahead and move there, and I have to raise threat by 1 for each location in the victory display, or I can discard this and replace it with the top card of the Caves deck, which is what I think I'll do. So we'll discard this, replace it with Crumbling Cavern. After it becomes the active location, assign X damage among characters, where X is the number of characters I control. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't have any Anfalas Herdsman, so I'm going to have to go like 8, 9, 10. That's rough. Should I engage this enemy? Can I deal 9 damage? If I tanked with Denethor, I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I'll engage this enemy. He can attack Denethor. If this attack is undefended, it's not. No damage. Forlong readies up at the beginning of every phase. You can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Kill the werewolf. So despite maxing out some characters on damage, it's going okay. Draw 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now I think I'll Men of the West for 1 and grab the Hunter of Lamedon. And I'll play him for 2. Do I want to use his response? What if it was an Ethir Swordsman? I'd be sad. Well, I could still play it because I have good harvest, so let's do it. Nope. Okay. Play Anfalas Herdsman for 1. Should I play Captain's Wisdom here? That's an interesting question. I may need Denethor to deal with a threat that comes out. Interesting. I'm really not sure. Would I need the resources in a future turn? I might. I think I will risk it. I'll play Captain's Wisdom. And then I want a quest for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 probably. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Each player must choose raise threat by 1 for each questing character or discard a questing character. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll raise threat by 4. And it's also doomed 1, so it's raised threat by 5. That's 36. But 11 to 1 is 10 progress, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clears this location. Well, once again, that's actually not true, because I forgot to discard until I get a location at the beginning of the quest phase, so just trying to stay consistent and forget it every round. So it's actually this location. I either have to raise threat by 3, or I have to add this to staging. I'm questing for 11, so 4. Well, this happens at the beginning of quest phase, so I can always quest for more. Oh wait, it was the Crumbling Passage that was the active quest, so I would need 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I'm questing for 11 at the moment. Let's add a Hunter of Lamedon to make it 14. And the card is Dark Bats into Forked Passage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 14 is 7 progress. To the victory display. Am I forced to travel to any of these? No. Actually, that's +1 for each location of the victory display, so I just barely pass it. Let's go ahead and I just want to clear out the staging area if I can. So I'm going to raise threat by 2 to travel there. And the Dark Bats engages. You can attack Hunter of Lamedon for 2, no damage. And then Forlong can attack and kill it. So on to the next round. Draw 1, 2, 3. Gaining strength. So we're getting set up defensively now. Warrior, warrior. Do I want a very good tail? I could find Knight of the Swan, Anfalas Herdsman. Should put that up here. Ethir Swordsman, I think I will. Let's use Forlong and Ethir Swordsman and very good tail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, just the Knight of the Swan is all I get. But that's fine. Now, questing 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, probably. Forlong readies at the beginning of the quest phase, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, first before I quest, I have to discard until I find a location. This one I'm going to raise threat by 3 to get rid of it. And then I'm questing for 13. Hobgoblin gets a prisoner. That's a 0. First player attaches the top card of his deck to Hobgoblin as a guarded attachment. So that's nothing. 13 to 3, 4, 5, 6 is 7 progress. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Simply clears this. Doesn't go to the victory display. I think this round I will travel to Forked Passage, and then I have 2 options. Well, no, I think I'll travel to Dark Tunnel. And it's a deep location. So if I travel to Forked Passage, I could look at the top 2 cards of the cave deck if I raise threat by 2 and choose one to put on the bottom and one on the top. Or I could decline the response and just do the deep normally, but if I'm going to do that, I'm just going to do the dark tunnel because it has higher threat. So, discard Dark Tunnel and replace it with Ancient Treachery. After it becomes the active location, each player may reduce threat by 3, draw 2, or add 1 resource to a hero's resource pool. I think I need the threat reduction. So, that's good. Very, very good. What a helpful location. At least all the cards in the cave deck aren't horrifying. Now I want to clear the Hobgoblin, so let's engage him. Forlong and ready at the beginning of every phase. Hobgoblin will attack. It's just an attack for 1. So no damage. And then we can go 4, 8. So I'm fully set up in terms of combat. I could use another Ethir Swordsman for questing. I think they're all in the encounter deck. Yeah. I don't have any playable outlands. So in the remainder of the encounter deck, there's 1 Hunter of Lamedon, 2 Ethir Swordsmen, and 2 Anfalas Herdsman. It's kind of a lot for the last cards of the deck. How many cards is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 6 other cards. That's not useful because it's going to be discarded at the end of the round. So on to the next round. It's important to know what's in your deck when you're playing a cycle deck like this, because you need to plan ahead with resources sometimes. Not often, but it can be crucial to know what's in your deck when you get close to the end. I'll play Anfalas Herdsman, so I know there's 1 more Herdsman and 1 more Ethir Swordsman in the deck. I don't know what the final 5 cards are, but I don't think they'd be useful. I could tell if I looked at the discard pile. I think there's a Men of the West, if my memory serves. Yeah, one of them's a Men of the West. Daeron's Runes. Some other cards that aren't going to be very useful. Anywho, we're fully set up now, so we, at the beginning of the quest phase, discard until a location's discarded. Iron Hills Mine. I'll let it go through. You have to discard the top 4 of your deck to travel there. What if I don't have any in my deck? Then you just probably travel there, right, for free. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 is what I want, so 4, 8, 12, 16, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so 8 progress. And that will be the 3rd location added to the victory display, so we're on to phase 2. Requires 0 progress. Place Dragon Horde on the bottom of the cave's deck. What does that do? Fire Drake cannot take damage. After Dragon Horde becomes the active location, the first player chooses a player to attach an artifact from hand to Dragon Horde. That attachment gains the guarded keyword. If that attachment has the printed guarded keyword, do not resolve it when the attachment enters play. Okay, I don't have any artifacts in my deck. On the bottom of the deck it goes. Add Fire Drake to the staging area. And shuffle the Dragon's Might encounter set into the deck. And what do I do here? Fire Drake cannot leave the staging area or take damage. He has 2 threat. After an active location is explored, he's going to make an immediate attack. After placing progress here from questing successfully, remove 5 progress from the stage to look at the top 2 cards of the cave's deck. Put one on top of the cave's deck and put the other one on the bottom. After Dragon Horde becomes the active location, advance to stage 3A. Okay. So let's go ahead and move to Forked Passage. I can, before resolving the deep keyword, raise threat by 2 to look at the top 2 cards. No, I don't want to do that. I'm just gonna, it's a response, so it's optional. And I'm just gonna do the deep keyword. So, top card is Underground Lake. X is the number of characters controlled by the player with the most characters. After an ally enters play, exhaust it. So the dragon's not going to do anything at the moment. Well, actually he is 35, so he does engage me. That is bad. And we have the spider engaging as well. So 2 attacks. He's attacking for 7. That is formidable. So who shall I put the attack on? Right now I have 4 shields. Well, let's put it on Forlong, I guess. I think there's still a Men in the West in my deck. Attacking enemy makes an additional attack, so 3 damage. 1, 2, 3. He currently has 5 HP, so he is dead. And I guess a Hunter of Lamedon as well. And he's dead as well. The giant spider can attack Denethor for 3. If the active location has the dark trait, it does. The defender can, or the attacking enemy cannot take damage. That's annoying. So I can't do any damage to the fire drake. Let's go ahead and move on to the next round. Draw 1, 2, 3. So I can play Hunter of Lamedon number 2. Let's go ahead and... do I want to do his response? Let's see. How many am I going to want to play with Men of the West? Forlong and Hunter of Lamedon. So that's 5, 6, 7 resources I need. I have 10, that's an additional 3. So yeah, I can discard with Hunter of Lamedon. It's Ethir Swordsman. Play it. Play Anfalas Herdsman. And Men of the West for 2. Which gets me Hunter of Lamedon and Forlong. Who I will play for 5. So Hunter of Lamedon. Forlong. So, how much progress do I need? So these are all going to interplay exhausted, right? Forlong, Hunter of Lamedon. But he can ready up at the beginning of the quest phase. So how much do I need? How much progress do I need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 to clear it. 28 probably, so let's go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 30. Card is attached to a questing hero. There are no questing heroes. So I guess that's a dud. 30 to 4 is 26 progress. I just needed 20. That will go to the victory display. And then I place progress on the location, on the quest, so I can... Well, after the active location is explored, he returns to the staging and makes an immediate attack against me, which will go on Hunter of Lamedon for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He currently has 4 HP though, so he does live. After placing progress here, remove 5 from the stage to look at the top 2. I had 6 extra, so 26 progress. I could remove 5 to look at the top 2 of the cave deck, put 1 on top of the cave's deck and 1 on the bottom. Do I care about discarding the last 2 cards to move to that location? Or would I rather not move to any more locations due to having to engage the fire drake? Alright, well let's remove the 5 progress there. So let's take a look. I think there's only 3, yeah, there's only 3 left. So the top 2, 1 goes on the bottom and 1 goes on the top. I want Lost Armory on the top. So it'll be Lost Armory, then Dragon Horde, and then that other thing. Unfortunately, I don't think I want to move there because I don't need to. And the dragon will engage me. So I have 2 attacks to deal with. One will go on Forlong. He should live. If this attack is undefended, it's not. So it's 7 to 4. 5, 6, 7. And then I have an attack against Denethor for 3. So I can attack back. Oh, wait. I didn't read the quest closely enough. Fire Drake cannot leave the staging area or take damage. Well, so he doesn't engage me even though his threat is low. So I messed up. I shouldn't have had him kill one of my Hunters of Lamedon last round. But given that I have a full board now, it doesn't matter. I don't need to go back and change anything. So anyway, the attack would be against Forlong from the giant spider for no damage, and then I will kill it. Sorry about that. Inattention to detail strikes again. Fire Drake cannot leave the staging area or take damage. Well, that makes this quest quite a bit easier. I was wondering if this deck was even viable because it seemed like you had to play a deck that keeps you under 35 threat possibly, or he just kills all your dudes while you're waiting, but no, that's not the case. He cannot leave the staging area. Okay. Well, that makes things easier, and perhaps I should have quested, or perhaps I should have moved to the Iron Hills, because it's not such a big deal now if he attacks. But I'll just leave it. On to the next round. Really now I'm just waiting for cards to come off of the encounter, or to come off of the cave deck. I need 2 locations off the cave deck. And I don't have the assistance of the phase 1 to do it. It seems like you really want to get almost every card off of the cave deck in phase 1 before you move on to phase 2, which I did kind of inadvertently, not knowing this quest very well. Whoops. How many resources were on Hirluin? May have to check the video, I'm not sure. Okay, he had 3 resources and 3 damage. So let's just quest with enough to not... Well, if I quest for 5, I could put the Dragon Horde on top of the deck, right? So let's go 5, 10, 15... It's 4, 5, 6, 11. So let's quest for 20. It's 9 progress. Let's go 24. So the card is, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to 24 is 15 progress. And I can then subtract 5 to look at the top 2 cards of the cave deck. And I want Lost Armory on the bottom and Dragon Horde on the top. So I will move there. Which means it's a deep location, so it gets discarded, and out comes the Dragon Horde. Now, this response confuses me. After Dragon Horde becomes the active location, the first player chooses a player to attach an artifact attachment from his hand to Dragon Horde. That attachment gains the guarded keyword. If that attachment has the printed guarded keyword, do not resolve it when the attachment enters play. That's very specific, but the thing is, if it was a travel cost, you wouldn't be able to travel there unless you could do it. But this isn't a travel cost, it's an after it becomes the active location. And it doesn't say if you can't do it, you discard the location or it goes to staging or something. It just is something that you do if you happen to have an artifact. Like, there's no benefit to it for the player. Attach an artifact to Dragon Horde. Why would I want to do that? Let me see what's on the next quest. After Dragon Horde becomes the active location, advance to stage 3. Search the encounter deck and discard pile for a Dragon Treachery and attach it to Fire Drake if able. Dragon Treachery. When attached enemy attacks, you deal 1 damage to each character you control. That's horrifying. When attached enemy would take any amount of damage, cancel all that damage, then discard Dragon Scales. What else we got? When attached enemy attacks, you deal 1 damage to each character you control. So either I'm dealing 1 damage to every character when he attacks me. I think I'll just go with the scales. It's slower, but safer. So, he gets Dragon Scales. Ignore the deep keyword. After a player declares X attackers against Fire Drake, he must remove X progress from the main quest or cancel the attack. Now I just need to defeat the Fire Drake, and he's no longer immune to damage, and he can leave the staging area. Fire Drake cannot take damage until I clear Dragon Horde. This response still confuses me. Attach an artifact to Dragon Horde. That attachment gains the guarded location keyword. Why though, and what happens to the card after? Like, it doesn't specify what you're supposed to do with the attached card afterwards. It gains the guarded location keyword. So what would you do with the artifact after you clear it? I don't understand this. Previously in the quest with the Hobgoblin, it specified what you do with the card after. Well, I don't have any artifacts, and this isn't a travel cost, so I don't think it affects anything. Very strange. So, that was the questing phase, or the travel phase, forgive me. And the Fire Dragon is going to engage now. And he's going to attack Forlong for 3 damage. And he's got 2 shields, so I just need to deal 3 damage to him. So one guy will deal 4, so 2 damage. When attached enemy would take any amount of damage, cancel all that. Oh wait, I can't deal damage to him yet because he can't take damage. Okay, so we're just moving on to the next round. And now I need to make a lot of progress against the quest so that I can declare a lot of attackers against him. So I want to make, let's see, 7, 11. How many guys do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I'd like quite a lot of progress. 27, 31. Let's go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 39, 43. Let's quest for 43. So the card is 7, so that would be 36 progress. Minus 7 is 29 more. That allows me a good stock to use to attack the Fire Drake. Now I can go ahead and move to this location if I want, but I don't see much point. This enemy will engage, so I have 2 attacks to deal with. The Stone Troll can attack a Hunter of Lamedon for 6. The Defender cannot ready, that's fine, so it's 2 damage. And the Fire Drake can attack a Hunter of Lamedon for 7. Deal 1 damage, and then 1, 2, 3 more will kill him. So the Dragon Horde being cleared means that the Fire Drake can take damage, so I'll just go ahead and deal 4, which against his 2 shields will be cancelled by the Dragon Scales. And then I'll go ahead and deal 4. Wait, I just used that guy, right? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 to kill the Stone Troll. And we're on to the next round. So I do have to spend 1 to make that attack against the Fire Drake. And we're on to the next round. So all I need to do is not pick up any threat, really. Let's go. 5, 10, 15 should be enough. Let's see, I need 19 damage, so 4, 8, 12, 16. Oh, when that location was cleared, the Fire Drake should have made an extra attack. I'm going to have to go check to see who was available to take that attack at the time. He should have returned to staging, and then he would have re-engaged later. Okay, so at the time the location was cleared, the Hunter of Lamedon was available, and my other Hunter of Lamedon was available as well. So I could have the Fire Drake do his extra attack on. So let's see, 1 attack killed the Hunter of Lamedon over here. That was the normal attack. Yeah, I think the attack would have to go on this Hunter of Lamedon. The extra attack, which would kill him. But still leave me with plenty of guys to kill the Stone Troll and deal 4 damage against the boss, because I still had Hirluin available. So Hirluin would do the damage instead of this Hunter of Lamedon, and nothing else changes. Sorry about that, another little mistake that had to be corrected. Anyway, this round we're going to quest for 5, 10, 15. Should be enough. And the card will be a location, which is plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 threat, so it's 6, 10 to 15 is 5 progress. Now we just have a, I'm not going to bother moving there, we just have a Fire Drake attack, which can go on the last Hunter of Lamedon. Discard an attachment, no problem. And that will kill the last Hunter of Lamedon. And then I can go, I need 19 damage, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Which will kill the Fire Drake. And that ends the game. So this is a challenging quest. I do think the way to play this is to slow play it in round 1, stabilize the staging area and the board, and clear out as many locations as you can from the cave deck. Probably allow as many locations as you can to build up in the staging area so you have a supply of deep locations to move to later. If it's possible to do that with whatever willpower your deck is running. And then you move forward and finish off the quest. It's a challenging one. This whole expansion was challenging. Unfortunately, too challenging to play the more fun decks that I had in mind for it. But, you know, in true solo, You just got to be happy with victories any way you can get them. It's too difficult a game to... In true solo, it's too difficult to be upset if you can't play exactly the deck you want to play. In multiplayer, I think this is an easier quest, because the reason I think that is because according to the quest companion, the difficulty is not rated very highly on any of these quests except for the third one, but I found them very challenging in solo play. So I don't think the difficulty rating from the quest companion applies to solo play in this case. I think you have to bring top tier decks against these quests. So thanks for watching.